Hi, I'm Jason McAteer and you're watching the Redmen TV.
There's a real thing though. I just want to. It needs to be said, and me and Chris had this conversation in the week, and I know he said it a lot on the news update, on like the Friday or whatever. I don't want to see a division amongst Liverpool fans, and there will be some elements of it, and I don't want to. I have no ill feeling towards the people who stayed, because like I say, some people, and again, it's what it is. What it is. There's people who went, and they've probably, it might be the only time they ever get to see Liverpool Football Club. And you know what? If that's the case, you've got, there's plenty of people. They've got every right to stay in your seat for the full 90 minutes.
There's a lot of people there who had tickets, one-off tickets. They're not people who are greatly affected by it, and it might have been their one chance for the year to see Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, someone tweeted about, let's not, get that way. Let's not trouble the people who don't want to leave. Let's make it a personal decision, blah, blah, blah. And I retweeted that and firmly believe it. It's up to you whether you decide to go or not. And you might protest in other ways, or you might even agree that it's okay.
Yeah. There was a bunch of South African lads who we did a fan cam with. It's a great fan cam. Actually go and listen to it, because you want to know about someone getting it. And I think I hate that division. I've got family in Australia who come over for 1-2 games every 3 years. Family who have never been. My brother-in-law's brother, and so I feel a bit more identifiable with that. And obviously working through the Redmen, we have a lot of fan base who are in that category, and there's no saying these fans are better than those fans.
No,
but these decisions that they're making on a financial basis do affect certain fans more than they do other fans, because it's the fans who go to more games.
It's like when people go out on strike.
Yeah.
Not everyone goes out on strike. An awful lot of people don't. But they still benefit from what the people who go out on strike achieve, if they do achieve anything.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is.
But the problem is that people are conditioned. Look at every time there is a strike, and and it winds up like when the teachers go on strike. I feel it. My wife's a teacher. My mum was a teacher. You were public servants, for your entire careers. Is that people moan about how it affects their day that day.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the arse. I've got to look after.
I've got to take a day off
I've
work,
got to do this and that, and it's like, get it, but ultimately you've got to think about what these people are fighting, what these people are actually fighting for. But the problem is that we're being conditioned to go against that and to look at ourselves and think of the inconvenience. And as I say, there's people looking at it going, I don't care, 77 quid's nothing to me, because saying to me, if I went over to the States and I wanted to watch the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Chicago Bulls, or go and see any of the big franchises over there, I probably wouldn't care what I was paying for it, because it's a tick off a list. I don't really care what it costs. I just want to feel the experience and go and do it. And that's the problem, is that you're always going to have that. But it's, as we say,
what
it's
gets
those
me down is people who
week.
say, "Oh, I can afford £77." Well, it's a business that they're entitled to charge what they like. Fine, if you want to take that view. My view is that there's £8 million extra coming into the game from television rights. The fans have a right to see that money make a difference to their support. It shouldn't just go in the back pockets of the owners.
Yeah.
It should be there to make the game better. Yeah. And you make the game better by making it easier for fans to come into the ground. And if you want to have cheaper tickets for younger fans or give tickets away, then do it out of that money.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been taken from Peter to pay Paul, and that's how it's happened. And that's the biggest mistake they made in the new ticket pricing structure.
I haven't sat down and worked out the figures, but it's something like, it's nearly £3 million a season extra from next year, this coming season. So to put prices up, it's just, I mean, I can't think of the right words, but it's a horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, last season they didn't put the prices up, but we had negative inflation last year, so they still made more money by not putting the ticket prices up. And now I begin to think, well, are FSG so mercenary? Did they decide to freeze those tickets, knowing they'd make more money, but knowing that they'd also be able to turn around and say, look, we froze them last year, we can put them up this year?
Yeah.
You begin to think, well, hang on a minute, are these people really invested in our club, or are they invested in making money?
Yeah.
And I've always actually felt FSG were people who love sport and who were willing to invest in what Liverpool was all about. And, you know, you now think, oh, well, hang on a minute, you know,
Well,
maybe
it's going to tell how they react to it, isn't it? But I think the most important thing, again, just to get back to it, is that I can't stand this, like, because this is the problem with the unions, and it's the problem with this, and it is that, as you say, it's that if you join, it becomes the pseudo press gang mentality, which I don't like, and I don't like people walking out of the ground calling other fans who are staying scabs and stuff like that, because they're not. It's not like, you know what I mean. And this is the problem. The problem you'd have is if you tried to organise a boycott and said don't buy tickets, and 40,000 people who bought the tickets you'd be more inclined to say it that way. But as you say, people have got a right to support the football club, and people don't feel that politically inclined. I think that more people should support, you know, because people should be able to consider the greater good as much as possible. But as I say, I don't want to see another split in our fan base again. It's taken us too long to recover from it. Getting Klopp in, has unified the fan base. What I hope is, and again, just to reiterate to everyone watching, it's not about who you are, it's not about where you're from, it's none of these things. But I think that the people who are, I think there should be, there's a certain element of bravery that comes in sacrificing 13 minutes of watching a club you love. No one's done that before. No one's walked that. You know, and to the number of people that did it, it should be admired. They should be held in high esteem. But those people who've walked out, great, good on you, fantastic, you're doing a brilliant thing. But don't be dickheads about it as well. Like, I mean, everyone needs to make sure that we're not singing from the same.
There's that much evidence of any of that.
No, but the fact is, there is on both ends that there's people who are like angrily saying, well, you're ruining Liverpool Football Club by walking out because you've cost the team points. Well, yeah, you know, maybe you can make that point. And equally, they're going, well, you're basically fucking our club long term by not taking a stand against the ticket prices. There's going to be extremes on both ends, and what I hope is that we can all get along to some extent and trust that we can still support the club. You know, the season's still going to progress. There's going to be a Liverpool Football Club next season. It's going to be there the season after that. But we need to safeguard the future, because the line for me that was telling, and I think it might have been Jay McKenna wrote it in the Anfield Wrap. And I agree with some of the things Jay McKenna says. I disagree with others, and I agree with some of Spirit of Shank. I disagree with others. But it's that if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. And I know it's a Manic Street Preachers line, but that's it. And the fact of the matter is that we need to Liverpool should be at the forefront of socialist movements in football, and that's where they've been, and that's where they should remain. And I take great pride in that, and I hope that they have great success.
You know, let's face it, it's not just about Liverpool supporters.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
The Premier League met in the week to discuss a system whereby there were cheaper tickets for away fans.
Yeah, the 30.
And 8 of the 20 refused to agree it. Therefore, it wouldn't be carried. You know, these are greedy bastards. They are, no doubts about it. And whether FSG are or not, it certainly begins to look that way.
The league is.
But certainly the Premier League are milking it for every penny they can get.
And the worst thing about it is when you've got Ian Ayre saying, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, Ian.
Yeah,
fucking hell, you know, as if we've not got enough paranoia left over from Mix and Gillette without him stirring the pot. And again, I get what he's saying, because when you look, like I say, when you look at it, he's probably thinking from a business sense, well, it's not drastic what we're doing in terms of what's been happening over the years. It's like all the companies going, well, you look, the gas and electric's gone up by 20%, but it went up 20% last year. It's like, but the point is, it's gone up 40% in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's
you know what I mean? You look at the people in Liverpool. And it is a national thing, but let's look at Liverpool. The average wage in Liverpool is a lot less than it is in lots of other parts of the country.
Yeah.
And they're not people who can afford massive amounts of money to pay for football tickets. There's an awful lot of people in Liverpool who can't afford Liverpool football tickets even now.
Yeah.
And what chance have they got when they go up?